Hi, I'm Berkeley, and this is my response to the Joe Rogan podcast with Henry Rollins. I've never heard of Henry Rollins, embarrassed to say that, but now I know who he is. Would I personally like to have a multimodal career? Of course, there are so many avenues and interests I would love to explore, and there's not a lot of information out there about people who have had expansive careers that cover a lot of different terrain, and I would very much so love to be able to explore music and film and writing and post-production and just all aspects of media entertainment, as well as like the cultural commentary. It's been really interesting to hear about what these two men have done between the two of them in terms of branching into comedy and music and politics and podcasting. It's something that's really interesting. If I were to ask Henry Rollins any questions, what would they be? I read a little bit about the guy, and I see that he's never had any children. He's remained single for the most of his life, and so I would want to know if that's part of the sacrifice of being so multimodal and exploring so many different interests. Do you have to sacrifice that anchor of having that emotional through line of an immediate support system, this concept of home, a place that feels like home? Can the two coexist, or does there have to be a departure in order to have as expansive a career as he has? Or perhaps that's why he has, because he's not a person that naturally yearns for that as many do. And if I were to write a book or poems or topics or ideas I would explore, I'm currently really interested in borrowing from different cultures and taking a little bit from each walk of life to kind of integrate an approach of life that works best for us. Something that has recently been really fascinating to me is George Harrison's utilization of minority music, and his fascination with like the Hare Krishna, and how he integrated minority and mainstream music into something that was loved by casual listeners. And I think that's a great example of how we can borrow from non-American ideals, non-conventional ideals, and we can set a trajectory for our lives that takes away from perhaps the homogenous culture in which we're born, and instead allows us to kind of open our mindset and navigate life in a way that is more catered to our beings. So yeah.